What's going on, everybody? It's Kyle with another episode of Unlocking Your Inner Strength. This is episode 248. I was off last week, one of the few weeks I did not record. We had Leo's funeral, which was a very nice service. It was a great day, a day to celebrate. So I'm back this week, and two things I'm going to be going over is we had a wonderful trip to the Hippy Hut for Valentine's Day weekend, me and Devin. You might be saying, what the heck is a Hippy Hut? I'm going to get to that, so just hold tight. First thing I want to start with is some lessons from My Hamstring Tear. Now, you may or may not know, about a week and a half ago, I was at jiu-jitsu. It had nothing to do with, it was a very benign thing as far as how it happened. It wasn't like a special move this could have happened pretty much doing anything. My leg was planted though, and 10 minutes in, hamstring pop. And I knew it was pretty bad, but I tried to participate a little bit more, and I said, I got to sit this one out. So a couple of years ago, we were doing one of the Saturday morning workouts at Newell Strength when the whole crew was there. I was lunging heavy. This is probably when I was 250 pounds, so 30 pounds ago. But I had like 275 pounds on my back. I'm doing walking lunges down the turf, and I had a sled attached to my waist, so I'm pulling like 300 pounds as well. And I'm doing it, no problem. But coming out of the hole, out of the step, bam, my right hamstring popped. Almost like I got shot in the hamstring. Boom, dropped the weight. And, felt around. I didn't think anything came off the bone. So it took about a week to two to heal. Now, what happens when you tear a hamstring, and this is something that I learned from Charlie Francis. So if you're into strength training at all, or you want to know deeper stuff about this, look up Charlie Francis. He was the Canadian track coach back when Ben Johnson had the scandal in the '88 Olympics in Seoul. Fascinating coach, though, excellent coach. Knew more about the human body than most people could ever fathom. But he would talk about, so these sprinters that he would train, they would get hamstring tears sometimes. But they would have races scheduled. They had these things lined up, and they couldn't miss. You can't miss the national championships, the world championships, because you pulled your hamstring. So he figured out how to really get them to heal. So I've used a lot of his protocols throughout the years. But basically, getting back to what I was saying, when you tear a hamstring, right, and this could go for any muscle. Let's say you tear it right here. Now, if you don't deal with that scar tissue and get it to remodel the same way, it's not as pliable as it is. You're going to pull that probably again, and most people think it's the same pull. It's not. You're going to pull it adjacent, right down the line, now right here. And this can keep happening if we don't address the issue. It just keeps going further down the line. So mine, obviously, I did not deal with my other one correctly all the way because, good is good enough. I was back to normal and back to regular workouts pretty quick with the other one. This one was worse. And again, that's what I get. That's the price I paid for not making sure I didn't do the soft tissue work on it as much as I should have. But anyhow, a couple key things. First of all, you can't feel pity for yourself when you get hurt. It could be any injury. And what I mean by that? Yeah, you could feel sorry for a couple minutes, but I suppose I phrased that wrong. It happened. When you get hurt, it happens. You can't change it. So don't say, man, what if I did? No. It happened. Forget it. It's over. Now you got to deal with it. Right now you got to deal with it. And that brings to mind another thing about injuries, that something that the great Louis Simmons taught me with my first patellar tendon rupture is you could have full range of motion. You could be pain-free with your injury. But until you're over the injury mentally, you're not healed. And this is where a lot of people get held up. So that was one thing. And that night I had to train a lacrosse team and a new client, and I was in pain. This is a week and a half ago. I was in bad pain. It was hard for me to get in the truck at the end of the night. But when you can, you keep moving. You keep your routine going. So that night, Devin said, well, you're not going to work out tomorrow, are you? And I said, of course I'm going to work out. Kind of looked at her like she was crazy. And she knows me. She probably knew the answer she was going to get. But to me, it's important you have to keep routine as much as you can, okay, when you get injured or you get these obstacles that pop up. So that's one thing. As far as the healing protocol, some of you might have seen some videos I had out there. I was getting some work done through Ryan and Yvonne. Really cool stuff, massage and magnetic. Ryan's going to be on a podcast. He could explain this a lot better than me, but he uses his hand manually and really moving the blood around. And the bruising is much better. It was pretty severe. So making sure I'm doing that stuff. I'm doing some scraping. I use heat on my injuries. People disagree with me. I don't really care. It's worked for me. It's worked for all the patella tendon rupturees around the world that I've helped. As a matter of fact, with my second patella tendon rupture, I didn't use ice one time. To me, ice is more for pain. I want to get blood there as much as I can. So I'm trying to get blood to heal. Blood, you need movement to heal. So you need blood to the area, but then another reason why you got to keep forth with your movement, even when you get injured, is overall blood flow, right? Your body is a big pump. You got to pump blood through the body to help it heal, and it's good for your brain. The more optimistic and positive mindset you have, the easier the healing process is going to be. So that's my 2 cents on the hamstring tear. Now, me and Devin, I took her away. My buddy Frank recommended this place a couple months ago. It was right around Christmas, called the Hippy Hut. And I look at it and say, how the heck did he find this? And there's a couple lessons within here, whether you own a business or you're just looking to experience life on a different level. So we went to the Hippy Hut, fantastic place. We didn't get to use the whole grounds because it was ice and snow and whatnot. But the Hippy Hut's about a 10 by 10 hut. It's got a wood-burning stove, got a futon. It's decorated really cool. You got to see it to believe it. A lot of subliminal stuff in there, just really cool stuff. It's got a couch. It's got a sink. We did not have running water because it was freezing outside, below freezing. And most people would say, man, that sounds terrible. It was fantastic. It was awesome. They had an outhouse in the back. And I could tell you this. Me and Devin, we were there Friday. We got there at 3 o'clock, came back Sunday, got home probably around 1. We haven't had that much one-on-one conversation and laughter in a long time, if ever, right? I mean, there was no distractions. You don't have your computer. You don't have a TV. And we were just chilling and really laughing a lot, which is great for the soul. Resting, just going at our own pace, reading. Then we'd play a game. Then we'd eat dinner together. And it was just really good. But it shows you life is meant to be simple. We get so distracted with all these gadgets and always having to do something that takes us out of the present moment. How do you get to be more in the present moment? That's really what we should be asking. That's where all power comes from. And that was right up my alley because I'm an extreme introvert, and that's how I recharge, is being by myself. It was getting to Devin a little bit, but then she came back around. She was looking for some type of more stimulation. But then you know, we had a great weekend. Look for opportunities where you can just think, okay? And even if you're not going to go somewhere where you can do this, you should have thinking time built into your week every single week. Thinking time, where you sit there and you think with the pen and paper. Get rid of your phone, get rid of all this, pen and paper. You think and you write down. And you could use write down the question that you want to try to figure out before you go to bed the night prior. So Thursday night, what's my question tomorrow? Write it down so my subconscious could go to work on it too while I'm sleeping. But thinking is critical, right? It's a quadrant 2 activity, meaning it's super important, but it's not urgent. So think of how can you just think and then be. Put yourself in situations where you're just there. You're that's what happens a lot of times on vacation, right? So that's key. And I was just marveling at this this guy Steve that created a Hippy Hut. It's what I call the purple cow, taken from Seth Godin, who's a great author and somebody I've read pretty much all his books. He used to talk about the purple cow. The purple cow, you're driving by a field and there's cows out in the pasture and they all kind of look the same, except there's one that's purple, and that one really stands out. And you can use this for business and all that, but this was a purple cow. I mean, to take this and say, okay, I'm going to take this 10 by 10 structure that was back here and turn it into a really cool Airbnb experience. And the reviews are off the chart. I mean, you see the notes people leave there, you know, and it's just everybody goes there, and it's like a magical, it's like a magical place, right? Like a different reality, and you're not getting the Ritz Carlton. You're not getting you're not sitting in a hot tub, and all that stuff's good too. But he took this and he made it such a unique thing that it can't help but stand out. It's so different than anything else I've seen before. And it was a really great experience, and I highly recommend it. If you would like to go to the Hippy Hut, it's in East Windsor, New Jersey. Shoot me a message, and I'll try to find it on Airbnb for you and send you the link. Really cool time, and got some good rest, got some clarity and peace of mind, had some revelations that were coming to me when I was just in the environment where I can just chill and have no outside stimulus coming in. But that's important, right? That's important. So that's what I got for you today. It's good to be back. That's episode 248 of Unlocking Your Inner Strength. Please hit the like button, the share button, or if you're listening on iTunes, please leave a review if you can, if I can get that word out. And tonight, KyleNewell.com should be fully functional to all my books and books that are coming out. And I've got a new Masters of the Mental Verse course that's coming out. So a lot of good stuff to look forward to. I appreciate your support, and I will see you all later.